Production support for the Friday Zone is provided by the Margaret A. Cargill Foundation and by WTIU members. Thank you.
Hey Taylor, today's show is all about living green.
Living green? You mean like this?
No, silly. Living green is about changing your behavior in a way that has a positive impact on the environment.
Oh. What about living blue? Living purple?
Whoa, stop it, stop it.
Living plaid?
You're not alone. You're in the zone. So hang up the phone and get in the zone. Get in the zone. The Friday Zone. You're in the zone. The Friday Zone. Everyone is invited to come. Everyone is invited to come. Everyone is invited. Get in the zone. Everyone is the Friday Zone.
Hi, and welcome to the Friday Zone. Today we're exploring our environment and how we can make a difference in the health of our planet.
That's right, Emily, and it starts right in your own backyard.
Or at your local park, which is where we caught up with a group of 6th graders in this Friday Zone field trip.
Leonard Springs Nature Day is a day of activities in the woods, and we have stations set up all throughout the park. We have about 100 kids a day come out. We break them up into small groups and they visit stations talking about creek health, wetland habitats for birds, karst topography and soil textures, and they also measure some trees. So a variety of activities throughout the day, but it's basically about getting the kids outside and experiencing hands-on activities. They are looking at a couple of different indicators of creek health. So they're doing chemical and physical testing, like looking at pH of the water, taking the temperature of the water.
11 degrees.
You need to record that in your book, 11 degrees. And circle, is that Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit, Celsius.
It's Celsius.
Oh.
And they're also looking at the macroinvertebrates that are living in the stream. And all of those things can be put together to tell us how healthy a stream is.
Let's see, these are some we haven't identified yet.
So could any
This
of
one.
these bugs hurt me?
No.
Wait, I want to touch one.
Let's see, it looks like a suction cup. Do we think that?
Yeah.
Yes.
The water penny larva.
Yes, and what does that tell us about our creek?
That is very healthy.
Yay!
The soil station, they get a little bit muddy, which is always fun, and they're looking at 2 different soil types and trying to identify them by using hand texturing. So that involves getting the soil in their hands and getting a little bit dirty, and they use a flow chart to identify the type of soil.
So we say no to that question, and our answer is this is just sand, pure sand.
At the forest station, we are looking at ways to learn more about trees.
I just kind of imagine it kind of like a carrot or something where you would cut it up. So this is a slice of the tree. You're holding a lot of information not only about how old that tree was, but the conditions in which it grew.
At the karst station, we have a really great karst groundwater model, and here we can see different types of areas and how water flows from the surface down into underground areas. In some areas, the water filters down through soil, but here we have a karst area, so we have a lot of limestone, and that limestone is more open, so we can see the water flow down really quickly without filtering through soil. Leonard Springs was once Bloomington's water supply, and it was a reservoir that was built, and it was filled and it kept draining out each time they would fill it, and eventually it was discovered that it's full of karst topography. So underneath us we are standing on caves and limestone topography, which doesn't hold water very well. So it was used as a reservoir, but now it is a nature preserve. There are different ways that we can learn outside of the classroom. We can learn things every day just by exploring.
We've got an environmental expert right here in the zone. Elisa is from the district. Now, you're one of the recycling folks from the Monroe County Solid Waste Management District, right?
That's right. I'm the Media and Education Director.
Great. And what is that you do there?
Well, one of the things I talk about people is energy. Energy is everywhere. It's in every living and non-living thing. And energy is what makes things move. It makes things grow. It's what makes things work, and it's constantly flowing in our world. So the light and the heat of the sun, the activity of people, plant growth, animal activities, those are all workings of things. You know, the working of things, those are all expressions of energy. So its use influences our health and the health of the world. Now, what we do influences energy in all things.
So we're kind of in charge of how we use energy?
Controlling our own energy?
Controlling it.
Exactly. Okay.
So, and I know we have a big problem. A lot of people waste energy. What are things we can do to, you know,
well,
stop
basically,
that?
what we want to do is use less fuel, if we can, be more energy efficient, and then use alternative.
So turning off light switches when we're not using rooms and TVs and stuff like that.
Correct.
So how do we control the energy that we have as humans? How do we gauge that?
Well, let's do this. Let's have an energy exercise.
Oh, great.
And in this energy exercise, I'm going to become the PE teacher.
Fantastic.
You are the students. Okay. So what you're going to do when you hear the fast music, you're going to alternate with running first, and then jumping jacks. And then running and jumping jacks. But when I say freeze, I want you to just stop.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
So
are we ready?
Yes.
Let's have the fast music.
Okay.
Running. And freeze. Now, what are you using in the first place? You're using what?
My heart.
You're using your heart.
My heart is like pounding right now, and like the blood's rushing to my head.
And what parts of your body are you using besides your heart?
My brain.
Your brain.
My legs.
Okay.
My arms.
Belly button, to be honest.
I was using my core during those jumping jack, and running.
And your feet.
And
so
my feet.
You're using all those organs, and you're using energy, right?
Yes.
You are using energy. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to do something else. Okay. That was a Western style exercise. We're going to do an Eastern style of exercise, which I teach. It's Chinese. It's called Tai Chi.
Oh, cool.
It's a Chinese health and relaxation exercise. So, are you ready?
Yes. Let's do it.
Okay. So, I'm going to lead you into this. So, I'm going to be over here.
Okay.
And let's start the music.
Now, I don't want to interrupt, but what are we learning from this?
What are you using?
Well, I felt like I was more in control. Using my core, we were using our legs, our hands.
What parts of your body are you using?
I honestly had to work with every part that was moving to control it.
You're using energy, and you're using all the same things that you were using in the Western exercise. You're still circulating energy.
Yes.
Okay. Well, now I know we've got some stuff over the table I want to talk about real fast. What have you brought over here?
Okay. Well, energy is complex. It's connected. It has many sources.
Okay.
But what we're looking at here is we are looking at 4 different categories of what is manifested on this earth.
And each one of these has energy?
Each one of these has energy, remember, in every living and non-living thing.
Okay.
So rocks, for instance, rocks over here, or minerals, we think they lie around and do nothing, right?
Right.
But to a quantum physicist, they are moving, they're dancing, they're in motion.
Okay.
So, but they don't have the awareness that the other categories have.
So, like plants, what do plants got going on for them?
Plants are something that although it has the same physical trace elements as the minerals, if we pulverized all of these categories, they would be the same thing. In a lab analysis, they'd be the same thing.
Because they have
So how do animals differ from plants?
Okay. Well, plants have, again, a higher level of awareness.
Okay.
The plants are reaching toward the sun, they're reproducing, they're protecting themselves in different ways that we now know about, but animals have even a higher level of awareness.
Okay.
So
Much like us.
they mate, they migrate, they can plan for the future, they can do those things.
Cool.
So, and then of course, we are the humans.
Right, right.
Okay. So humans, okay, again, if we pulverized us, we are composed of the same physical trace elements. The drop of iron in your blood is part of the whole entire iron deposit in the world.
Cool. And so as humans, there are a lot of things we do, and I know we have an experiment coming up dealing with pollution, right? Up next, we're going to talk about one specific kind of pollution. So meet us back here in the zone right after this. We're over here at the couch now. Let's pick up where we just left off with energy in all things.
So we are the world. We are a miniature universe, and what impacts the Earth impacts us.
Great. And what can we do to help save the Earth?
Okay. Well, realize that what goes into our waterways eventually goes in the oceans, and that comes back to us.
Okay.
And without water, we are not able to live and survive, right?
Nothing. It would be a dry, dusty planet, no living things.
And how much of our body is made up of water?
Well, about 70%.
So that's
even
important
in
that
your
we take-
muscles, your brain, your veins, there's a large percentage of water.
Okay, now let's talk about the Great Garbage Patch, because I know this is a huge problem.
There are these dead zones in our ocean, and in these dead zones, the majority of the trash that's there happens to be plastic. Now, we can look at this, and we have our own little ocean over here,
Right,
where we can find out what we can do about that.
Okay, you want to go over there
Yes.
and show us what we can do? Great.
Right. Now, the plastics that actually are in our waterways now are not put there naturally, right?
No, what happens if it's litter, or if it doesn't, somehow it does not get recycled, then it ends up in our streams and our lakes and our rivers, and it flows into the ocean.
Okay.
So what we have here are things that not only affect people who live near the oceans, but affect everyone.
Right, well, and one thing I've learned, what are nurdles?
Okay, nurdles are, what happens is plastic never truly decomposes. It breaks into these little fragments, and so these tiny little fragments are what we call nurdles.
Okay.
So those are the nurdles, and those can pollute for centuries. We don't know how long, but because of the chemicals in plastic, it causes pollution in the water, and not just on the surface, but on the bottom of the water too.
Okay, and then if a fish ate a nurdle and then we eat that fish, then we're kind of...
It gets it. We're a miniature universe again.
Exactly.
Miniature universe.
So what are things we can do to clean this mess up?
Well, if we look at this, you look for things that can be recycled. We know, for instance, that plastic bags can be recycled.
Yes.
So it doesn't belong here. Okay, it belongs over here.
Okay.
And we have styrofoam, polystyrene cups can be recycled.
So how do you know when something is recyclable versus not being recyclable?
Well, if it's a plastic container, you look on the bottom. If it has those 3 arrows over here,
Okay.
and it has a number, okay,
Yeah, let's show them
then
at home, make sure they know.
if it's a 1 through 7, we know that can be recycled in
Okay, 1 through
most
7.
communities. So we want to put that over here. So let's pick something up.
What is that?
All right, I have a 2
2.
about right there. It's pretty small.
Same thing. That can be recycled.
So now what does it take to really just go down and do something like this in a nearby waterway?
It's very easy to do. It's very easy to take care of it in the first place so it doesn't end up like this. And the studies that they have indicate that 80% of the plastics that get in our water and create dead zones in the ocean where nothing lives comes from the shore, comes from land.
Wow.
So not boats.
Well, let's see if this one.
Okay. So let's look again over here. Okay. And this one.
Where is that one? I can't even.
That one's kind of hard to see, but it's a plastic one right there. It has those 3 recycling arrows right here.
What do we do about these egg cartons?
Egg cartons. Well, this number here can be recycled, and if you have to look over here, you have to open it up on this one.
Right there.
It's right there.
So are there numbers past 7?
There are numbers past 7 because there are a lot of different types of plastics.
Okay.
But generally most communities don't recycle those at
So
this point.
those are plastics you have to throw away?
Those are
Or what do you do with
plastics
those?
you would. Of course, you want to rinse everything and you want to throw them out, but those plastics you would have to throw, or you could reuse it for something.
Okay, great.
Well, I'm going to do this one really quickly, and this one too.
Again, look at the bottom.
The bottom, right there.
And you've got the number right there. And you can throw in the top too.
So we've been recycling and cleaning up our waterways. What are some more tips for kids to go green?
Well, first of all, they need to realize that 40% of our lakes and rivers are unfit for the basic needs of swimming and fishing.
Oh, wow.
And about 30% in Indiana. Now, they can use reusable bags, recycle plastics 1 through 7, pick up litter, teach people not to litter, and then don't buy bottled water in the first place. Don't buy it, and keep storm drains clear of leaves and litter.
Cool. Seems just like personal actions of really trying to make it better. So
that's right.
Great.
Well, Elisa, we thank you so much for your helpful tips and your knowledge on energy and pollution and recycling. So, you know, kids everywhere are living green and taking action at home and school. Up next, the inspiring story of students standing up for clean air in this Friday Zone Flashback.
At Douglas MacArthur Elementary, the school community places an emphasis on building hearts and minds. One way that the staff carries out this mission is by actively empowering young students in their capacity as air quality ambassadors. With the help of an organization called Improving Kids' Environment and support from the Metropolitan School District of Perry Township, Douglas MacArthur Elementary School has implemented several programs designed to help students play an active role in protecting the quality of the air around them. Janet McCabe, Executive Director of IKE, first approached Principal Stephen Craig about participating in a program she created called Smart Schools Don't Idle.
One of the issues we find is that in a lot of the schools, where the buses line up and where the parents line up is right by the fresh air intakes for the school ventilation system, so it's just drawing that air right into the schools.
4th grade teacher Sherry Ramos explained how Douglas MacArthur Elementary adapted its student drop-off policies in order to prevent vehicle emissions from affecting the respiratory health of its students and staff.
We do have an anti-idling where we're asking parents that come in for car riders to turn off their car while they're waiting. We have signs that are out and posted so they know that. We remind them politely as adults that we need to make sure that they turn off their cars. And they actually have been really good at participating with that. Our buses come in and they actually line themselves up in the staging area that we need to have, and they turn off their engines as soon as they're in. And at the end of the day, their engines are all off until all kids are on and they're ready to roll.
The students at Douglas MacArthur also see the no idle zones as a good thing and often help enforce the anti-idling policy by reminding their parents to turn off their cars.
Well, when my mom comes to drop me off, normally sometimes she'll forget and I'll ask her to turn off her car. And when they turn it off, it helps the air, and because the gas and things that run through the car doesn't get all through the air.
Not only are the students enforcing the anti-idling policy on school grounds, they recognize the value of turning the car off in other locations too.
When you go through a drive-thru, you should park out and then go in and get your food so that you don't pollute the air and gas doesn't come out of your car.
In addition to participating in the Smart Schools Don't Idle program, Douglas MacArthur Elementary took its commitment to protecting its students and the environment one step further by piloting a program called Fly a Flag for Clean Air. With this program, the students are taught to research the Air Quality Index and then to report their AQI findings to the school via daily announcements and reports to the school nurse. First thing every morning, students from Mrs. Ramos's class use the internet to research the daily Air Quality Index.
We go to airnow.gov and the students then go ahead and click on Indiana. They look for Indianapolis, and then they find where our air quality is. The students know they go of the lesser of the few, so if we have green and a yellow, we know that they need to go with the yellow, just so that we can be more cautious while we're outside. They then take that information, one form goes to the nurse, so we can track our asthma for the day, and then another form goes to our announcer, and they get on the announcements each morning, and they give the air quality to the whole school.
Hello, MacArthur students. I am Erica from room 304. Today, Thursday, August 14th, we will be flying a yellow flag. It's a moderate day. Have a great day.
After making each morning announcement, 2 other students from Mrs. Ramos's class work as a team to hoist a flag that matches the color of the daily air quality index.
Our green flag is a great day, is what we'll say to the kids. We're flying a green flag, it's a great day. And then our yellow is moderate. That just means you just need to be cautious while you're outside. Air quality is okay, but it's not as good as it probably could be. Our orange means that particles are very high. We would then ask those children outside that have asthma to walk or to maybe stroll around and not do things that would be strenuous. Kickball might come to a minimum. Those kinds of things aren't as normal as they would be. Our red would mean that it's pretty hazardous and we wouldn't send our kids outside for recess.
By providing the students and staff with a level of the air quality index in the morning, the staff tries to be as proactive as possible in preventing childhood asthma attacks and allergy-related breathing problems for the children. Marcus, a student who used to suffer from childhood asthma, feels safer knowing how to modify his afternoon recess behavior based on the results of the air quality index.
Well, I don't have asthma anymore, but when I was little I had an asthma attack, and it was darn scary. It makes me feel more safe, so I don't have to go out with tons of pollen in the air and not sneeze and swell up and go to the hospital.
Principal Craig is proud of the fact that Douglas MacArthur students serve as environmental stewards.
I'm really proud of that. I mean, I think that, we have believed for a long time that a part of our mission here is to build hearts and minds and to create stewards of what we have. And that sounds corny, perhaps, but they really are the stewards. And we think that by doing things like that, we help children understand that they can actually affect and make a difference in their environment and in their local environment, and that's how this has to work. It has to be something they own. So it makes me proud to think that we're doing that.
We're proud of Douglas MacArthur's air quality ambassadors, too.
Very cool. Those kids are making a big difference in a big way. And speaking of big, we've got a bit of a crowd in the zone today. Troop 2552. How you guys doing?
Great!
Awesome. Good.
Well, girls, thanks for being here all the way from Bloomfield, right? Right? All right. Well, we're going to make a craft today, except Taylor has to tell us what we're going to do.
All right. Today in our hands-on zone, we've got a fun little project that reuses one of the plastics we talked about earlier, plastic number 6 egg cartons. Using just a little bit of imagination and some pipe cleaners, we've created a whole menagerie of animals up here. So we've got a crocodile. Look at that. And the teeth, we can use just the top half for that. We've got a lovely camel over here. And you can make a caterpillar or a ladybug, just, oh, look at this. What do you think this is?
Is that a hippo?
I made a hippo.
With glasses?
You got it. A hippo with glasses. I made this. Can you believe that?
Well,
I
girls,
made this.
if you're intrigued, I have a Christmas-ready firefly.
Ooh.
And I think my friend has a bat.
Ooh, our producer Eric made that.
A girl bat.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks
wow.
great. So
he's good
use
at this.
your stuff, use your imagination. Let's get started.
Okay, yeah. What do you want to make?
Yeah.
A giraffe. Cool. That'll be
now,
fun.
Taylor, I have Emma over
Yeah.
here. Emma, what are you going to make today?
A ladybug.
A
Really?
ladybug.
Are you going to have to cut and use some red and black, or are you going to color it?
I think I'll color and cut.
Oh, right. Well, I'll have to come back to you and see what you're doing in a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to start mine
How should
really
we
fast.
I'm trying to think.
What are you thinking about making?
Okay, yeah, you cut those out. Maybe we can make, I wonder how we should, we can
really
use
like
these for the
these for
neck, right?
eyes.
Make a, like a really long
Does that
neck.
look neat? Do you have any markers? Aha. Now the best part about this is we're not actually going to be using any glue, are we? Just our pipe cleaners. We'll see what that is. All right, girls, I'm going to walk around and see what you're going to make. I'm going to step over here. First, tell me your name and what you're making.
I'm Addie Heaton. I'm making a turtle.
Hi, Addie. Ooh, a turtle. Taylor. We've got someone trying to blaze their own path over here. What's your name and what are you going to make?
Hannah, and I'm going to try to make an alien in a spaceship.
She's making an alien in a spaceship.
That's
That
creative,
is
and I
neat
like that.
too. You guys are one creative group. What have you got going on over here?
My name's Anna, and I'm gonna make one of those
Hippopotamus too? All right, Annie. Taylor, Annie really likes your hippopotamus, so I think she's gonna make one too. Are you gonna put glasses on it? No? All right, what are you gonna make?
Hi, my name is Mackenzie, and I'm making a ladybug.
You're gonna make a ladybug too? That's so great. It looks like you have the perfect color Sharpies for these too, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Red and black.
That's pretty cool.
All right, I'm gonna come back and check on you guys' progress in a little bit.
All right, let's talk about some strategies and some techniques, Emily, for making our egg carton creatures or aliens, whatever you want to make. So for some of these, like what I did, a good way to put eyes on, like if you're making that hippo over there, what I did was, if you look in the back, you can see you take the pipe cleaner and you poke it through the eyes like that, and then you poke it through the inside.
Oh.
And then that's how you get things to stay, so you don't have to use tape or glue. You just get kind of creative with the pipe cleaners. And same for like if you guys are making ladybugs, you can cut the pipe cleaners and you can poke them through the top, make little antennas, little arms. Same with the camel. We're gonna make a giraffe over here, so we're starting. She's cutting the pieces over here, and we're gonna use this for the neck, since they have, such long necks. So there's some tips, some strategies.
I'm surprised no one's making a cat. I think I'm gonna have to make one.
You should make a cat. It's your favorite animal.
It is my favorite animal.
Okay, what do we?
Is it? I'm not sure how to start on this. Does anyone have any
these
ideas?
parts? What do you want these parts?
Maybe you could use one of these.
That's the body? Okay, we'll put those together.
You're exactly right. That sounds perfect.
Oh, I see. And then you wanna poke them through, like, do you want them to connect?
Are you making an alligator?
Like this and this?
That looks
what you
great.
Okay.
Your guys all look good.
Let's
start this really fast.
Oh, you know what we can do? Here, we'll go this way.
Well, I am going to try and finish this, but while we keep working, here's another cool thing you can make with something rescued from the trash. This is Mark. Every day, Mark's dad gets a newspaper delivered to the house, and every newspaper comes delivered with a rubber band around it. Instead of these rubber bands winding up in the trash, Mark has been saving them to make a rubber band ball. So every day, when the newspaper comes, Mark adds one more rubber band to his ball. And as time goes on, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. A rubber band ball, a great way to reuse something that would otherwise become trash. Way to go, Mark! Welcome back. We're wrapping up our egg carton animal construction here in the zone. It looks like we've got some pretty good stuff. I finished mine. You guys, can you tell what it is?
It's a cat.
It is, scientist cat.
That's awesome.
Taylor, how'd yours and Izzy's go?
Well, Izzy and I were making a giraffe to start off with, and then we didn't know how to make the face, so then I made a duck face, and we called it a Guruk. And she also made one of these ladybugs over there, too.
Oh, yeah. Emma, how'd your ladybug army come?
It's pretty good. I made those two ladybugs, and then I'm coloring the grass for them.
Cool. It looks awesome. And yours? Yours is kind of scary.
I made a crocodile with a bat flying over its head so that it would look very scary so he could scare the ladybugs and eat them.
That's awesome.
Well, I think you did just wonderfully.
Well, guys, remember to live, learn, and play the Friday Zone way. We'll see you here next week.
Bye-bye.
Production support for the Friday Zone is provided by the Margaret A. Cargill Foundation and by WTIU members. Thank you.